Hey everyone. Before we get into today's episode, a quick update. There won't be a new video this Friday because of the Chulalongkorn Day holidays here in Thailand. I won't have access to my office or equipment during that time. Also, I owe you an apology. There was no upload this past Monday because I experienced a health emergency earlier in the week. I wasn't in any condition to record or edit, but I'm recovering now and really appreciate everyone who reached out and checked in. Regular episodes will return starting next Monday, and I promise we'll be back on schedule. Now, even though much of what you'll hear in today's episode might sound familiar, it's more relevant than ever. The enforcements are ramping up. Banks are still freezing accounts. Immigration officers are applying new verification rules. And retirees are facing tighter scrutiny than ever. That's why I felt it was important to revisit this topic, to connect the dots between what's already happened and what's coming next. So, as you listen, keep in mind, this isn't just a recap, it's a warning, an update, and a roadmap for anyone living or planning to retire in Thailand. Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Thailand Truth Talks. Imagine waking up in Thailand, a place once sold as paradise for retirees, only to find your bank account frozen, credit card declined, and no clear explanation why. In recent months, that scenario has become a reality for thousands of expats and foreign retirees. Thai authorities have launched an unprecedented crackdown on mule accounts tied to online scams, freezing entire bank accounts in pursuit of money launderers. This dragnet has hit everyday people. Small business owners, street vendors, and pensioners have reported finding their accounts locked without warning. As one American retiree lamented, "They have my money and I'm unable to access it. I am a retired pensioner, not a scammer." The crackdown is officially described as a fight against fraud, but the side effects have been chaotic. In September of 2025, the Bank of Thailand actually acknowledged a banking crisis after social media exploded with complaints from thousands of innocent people whose accounts were frozen. Many honest retirees, those who came for the cheap lifestyle, not to run scams, have been caught in the crossfire. Now, anxiety is mounting that Thailand's government and banks are targeting small-time expats while letting bigger scam rings slip away. The question on everyone's mind, what's really going on here? To put it bluntly, some of the facts are staggering. Over 3 million bank accounts were frozen by early September 2025 as part of Thailand's anti-scam campaign. This was a sweep, not a pinpoint strike. Many ordinary users and businesses were caught up. 14 plus billion in Bitcoin were seized in October of 2025 by US authorities from a Cambodian fraud network. That network's boss, a Cambodian billionaire, was indicted for running a massive crypto scam. In 2024, Americans lost about 10 billion to crypto and romance scams tied to Southeast Asia, a 66% jump from the previous year. Cambodian-based pig butchering rings, which lie at the heart of these scams, were called a dominant player by US prosecutors. Thai lawmakers have even talked about trillions of baht flowing into Thailand from foreign scam rings. In late 2025, one Thai parliamentary committee flagged a staggering 3 trillion baht in cash flow linked to international call center scam networks. That's roughly 10% of Thailand's annual GDP. These massive figures raise a hard question. If such enormous sums are sloshing through Cambodia and Thailand, who is really profiting? And why do ordinary retirees in Phuket or Chiang Mai feel like they're the ones being squeezed. Meanwhile, the squeeze on foreigners has been very real on the streets. Reports from Hua Hin to Bangkok tell of frantic scenes, long lines at ATMs, people racing to withdraw cash before it vanishes. Small vendors have started putting up cash only signs out of fear their own accounts could be frozen next. One Hua Hin resident said she was literally turned away from a hospital bed because her account froze at the ATM inside the ward. In markets and cafes, worry is spreading that even a harmless bank transfer could trigger a freeze. All this has fueled a conspiracy framed narrative among foreigners. Many expats now whisper that Thailand's authorities may have other motives beyond just catching scammers. Consider, after years of political turmoil, coups, elections, military governments, Thai leaders likely feel pressure to look tough on crime. Blaming foreigners and overseas fraudsters play well with nationalist sentiment. In fact, some Thai politicians have started hinting that rich expats are living cheaply off Thai hospitality and not contributing enough, despite the fact that retirees pump billions into the local economy via rent, healthcare, dining, and more. This rhetoric conveniently shifts blame onto outsiders. The media coverage adds to the perception. Headlines will trumpet foreigners arrested in online scam, but rarely report on the Thai enablers or systemic issues behind the scene. For example, Thailand's own parliament recently exposed that a suspected scam boss, Benjamin Smith, had close ties to a deputy prime minister and Cambodian elites. A company linked to him was moving some 3 trillion baht of scam money, yet the story in Thailand focused on foreign victims, not local corruption. Meanwhile, back on the ground, thousands of retirees and teachers face frozen accounts and deportations for minor visa slips, as if they were the real threat. So the expats ask, is this crackdown for show? Some say it's political theater. It's easy for authorities to point to a dozen expat visa violators as proof they're tough on crime. Meanwhile, the trail of actual scam money often leads to high places. In October of 2025, US prosecutors even sanctioned Cambodia's Hoi One Group, linked to the Prime Minister's family, as a primary money laundering concern. Why freeze a retiree's simple checking account because it unknowingly received a few thousand baht from a suspect transfer, when it seems the real scam networks keep operating with minimal interference? The result is a climate of fear and confusion. Legitimate foreign residents feel targeted. Every time I change jobs or miss a 90-day check-in by a day, I risk everything. One expat complained, it's like we're guilty until proven innocent. For retirees living on fixed pensions, even a week without banking access is a crisis. As one blogger explained, if they can freeze your account with no notice, then what guarantee do we have in our daily lives? The bottom line is this: the land of smiles has turned a bit sour for many of its older expats. What was once sold as a low cost retirement dream now feels like a minefield of complicated rules and sudden clampdowns. Whether these policies are deserved or overkill, the perception matters. And right now, many foreigners perceive them as heavy handed. In the next section, conspiracy theories and political games, we'll dive deeper. Who is really pulling the strings? What are these secret meetings about Cambodian call centers and Thai banks? And most importantly, what does this mean for you, the viewer? Stay tuned. The truth behind Thailand's new hardline stance on foreigners here is murkier and more unsettling than you might think. Here's where things get really murky. The Thai government justifies all these crackdowns as protecting the economy from fraud. And there is real fraud. We've covered that extensively. But some expats wonder if there's another agenda. Thai parliament recently held hearings investigating whether Cambodian scam call centers were funneling billions of baht into Thailand's banking system. That's a staggering number, roughly equivalent to 10% of Thailand's annual GDP. One legislator claimed the entire scam industry in Cambodia was infiltrating Thailand's economy. But here's the question no one's asking. If that much money is flowing through Thai banks, who's benefiting? Who's turning a blind eye? The aggressive crackdowns on small-time visa fraudsters and frozen accounts for retirees feel like theater while the real criminals operate with relative impunity. In October of 2025, US authorities seized more than 14 billion US dollars in Bitcoin and charged Yen Ji, chairman of Cambodia's Prince Holding Group, with wire fraud and money laundering conspiracy. Americans lost at least 10 billion US dollars to Southeast Asia-based scams in 2024, a 66% increase from 2023. Hui Wan Group, allegedly owned by a cousin to Cambodia's prime minister, was alleged to involve conducting illicit financial transactions, including money laundering and cyber theft within the region. The scale is breathtaking. Hui Wan Group sits at the top of Cambodia's suspected illicit financial network, handling dark web financial transactions, cryptocurrency exchanges, and trading data harvested through online scams. Yet for years, these operations flourished with apparent impunity while Thai authorities focused their enforcement efforts on freezing the bank accounts of retirees and arresting teachers for working without proper permits. Some conspiracy-minded expats point to Thailand's political situation. After years of military rule, coups, and populist politics, the government needs to look tough on crime. What better target than foreign criminals and fraudsters? It plays well domestically while avoiding harder questions about systemic corruption. There is also nationalist rhetoric bubbling up. Some Thai politicians have suggested that foreigners are exploiting Thai hospitality, living cheaply while contributing little. Never mind that foreign retirees pump billions of baht into the economy for rent, healthcare, restaurants, and services. When Thai media covers these stories, they emphasize arrests of foreign scammers but rarely mention Thai accomplices or systemic issues. The narrative becomes, foreigners are the problem. Meanwhile, enforcement remains inconsistent. Major fraud rings operated for years before being busted. From January 1st to July of 9th, 2025, Thailand recorded 175,477 online crime cases, averaging 919 cases per day, with total financial damage estimated at 14.87 billion baht. Banking regulations are enforced erratically, sometimes strictly, sometimes loosely. Some expats report immigration officials asking for processing fees to smooth over paperwork issues. The result is an environment where honest retirees feel targeted while actual criminals seem to navigate the system just fine until sudden, dramatic busts make headlines. Perhaps nothing illustrates Thailand's hostile turn towards foreign residents more dramatically than the banking crisis that erupted in 2025. What began as anti-fraud measures quickly spiraled into a nightmare for thousands of legitimate expats and retirees. Since May of 2025, thousands of foreigners have had their accounts frozen, losing access to cards and online banking. Bangkok Bank confirmed it has begun closing and restricting accounts held by foreigners in Thailand who lack long term visas or fail to comply with new security measures introduced at the start of 2025. The impact has been devastating. One Hua Hin resident told media outlets they were unable to pay for hospital treatment after finding out their account locked an ATM inside the hospital. Jeff Sikema, a 62-year-old American retiree, said, "They have my money, but I'm unable to access it. Luckily, I have some cash. But what if I'd been traveling and suddenly couldn't pay for anything? I'm a retired pensioner, not a scammer. This is quite ridiculous." The scale of the problem is enormous. Since early of 2024, over 1.66 million accounts have been suspended as the Bank of Thailand and commercial banks use shared data to block suspicious activity. While many of these were indeed mule accounts used for money laundering, a significant number belonged to legitimate foreign residents who suddenly found themselves unable to access their own money. Bangkok Bank stopped opening new accounts for tourists in January of 2025 and began freezing existing accounts that are not linked to a long-term visa. Tourist visas, including the new 180-day destination Thailand visa, are no longer considered sufficient. To keep or open an account, foreigners must now hold retirement visas, work visas, marriage visas, or demonstrate property ownership in Thailand. The enforcement has been chaotic and inconsistent. Even those who have lived in the country for years, own property, or have a multi-year visa are not always safe. Some foreigners report success keeping accounts open with proper documents, while others face unexpected freezes, even with long-term visas. YouTube creators We Retired to Thailand described spending over 4 hours at a branch followed by another hour of paperwork, being told their account would be unfrozen in 3 to 5 business days. For many retirees living on fixed incomes, being unable to access funds for days or weeks creates genuine hardship. The banking crisis reveals a fundamental problem. Thailand implemented sweeping anti-fraud measures without distinguishing between criminals and legitimate residents. The result is a system where bureaucratic convenience trumps individual rights, and foreigners are presumed guilty until proven innocent. None of this happened overnight. To understand what Thailand is today, you need to understand where it's been. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Thailand aggressively marketed itself to foreign retirees. Come to paradise, low cost of living, beautiful beaches, great healthcare, easy visas. The government wanted those foreign pensions flowing in. Immigration requirements were lax. Enforcement was minimal. You could live in Thailand on a shoestring budget and basically do whatever you wanted. But times changed. Tourism exploded. Foreign investment boomed. Thailand became a major player in Southeast Asia's economy. With growth came sophistication. And with sophistication came scams. The infrastructure that made Thailand easy for retirees also made it easy for criminals. The 2014 military coup marked a turning point. The military government began cracking down on irregularities throughout Thai society, not just for foreigners, but for locals too. Corruption investigations, regulatory reforms, tighter controls. Then COVID-19 hit. Border closures revealed thousands of overstaying foreigners. The pandemic gave authorities time to audit visa systems, identify loopholes, and plan crackdowns. When borders reopened, so did a new era of enforcement. Thailand's economy also changed. GDP growth slowed dramatically. Projections for 2024 to 2025 hover near 0 to 2%. National debt increased. officials started seeing foreign retirees differently. Instead of welcoming sources of income, some policy makers view them as people abusing services without contributing proportionally. Thailand's banking sector, meanwhile, wants to maintain its international reputation. Anti-money laundering regulations became stricter globally, and Thai banks responded with aggressive KYC requirements that caught everyone in the net. So, what we're seeing now is the culmination of years of gradual policy shifts, from the laissez faire, anything goes attitude to strict regulation and enforcement. The problem is, these changes happen faster than anyone expected, and they've been implemented with a heavy hand that doesn't distinguish between scammers and legitimate retirees. The traditional retirement visa that brought hundreds of thousands of expats to Thailand has become increasingly complicated and expensive in 2025, while the basic structure remains, requiring foreigners to be at least 50 years old. The devil is in the details. Applicants must have a security deposit of 800,000 Thai baht in a Thai bank account for 2 months prior to the visa application, or demonstrate a monthly pension income of 65,000 baht, approximately 1,850 US dollars, after tax, or a combination totaling 800,000 baht annually. But here's where it gets tricky. Recent changes in 2025 have updated the minimum financial thresholds, with increased minimum financial requirements and mandatory health insurance. Since 2019, and reinforced under 2025 regulations, health insurance has become mandatory for retirement visa applicants. The policy must cover inpatient treatment of a minimum 400,000 Thai baht and outpatient treatment of minimum of 40,000 baht. For older retirees, health insurance requirements pose a significant problem. Premiums for comprehensive coverage meeting Thai requirements can cost 2,000 to 5,000 US dollars annually for those over 65 years old, and policies often exclude pre-existing conditions. This effectively prices out many middle-class retirees on modest pensions. The affordable 5-year bronze tier elite visa ended on June 30th of 2025, reducing long stay options. Since May 1st of 2025, all tourists must show proof of sufficient funds like bank statements upon entry. The visa landscape has become a minefield of requirements, many enforced inconsistently depending on which immigration office you visit. Meanwhile, Thailand has heavily promoted its long-term resident visa as a solution for wealthy foreigners. The LTR visa offers a 10-year renewable visa with permission granted to stay in Thailand for 5 years, which can be extended for 5 more years if qualifications are met. The benefits are impressive. Fast-track service at international airports, 1-year reporting to immigration instead of 90 days, discounted personal income tax rate of 17% for highly skilled professionals on their employment income, and permission to work in Thailand with removal of the 4-to-1 Thai to foreigner employment requirement. In January of 2025, the Thailand Board of Investment approved updates to the qualifications, criteria, and conditions for the LTR visa program to facilitate access to a wider range of experts, investors, and executives. The changes include removing the minimum annual income requirement for wealthy global citizens category to prioritize cumulative wealth and investments, and reducing the corporate revenue requirement for work from Thailand professionals from 150 million US dollars to 50 million US dollars over the last 3 years. For the wealthy pensioner category, requirements include being over 50 years old with passive income of at least 80,000 US dollars per year, or at least 40,000 per year plus an investment in Thailand of at least 250,000 US dollars, plus health insurance coverage in Thailand of at least $50,000 US for no less than 10 months. The processing fee for the 10-year visa is 50,000 baht per person, reduced from 100,000 baht. While this represents a discount, the overall financial requirements remain out of reach for most retirees. The LTR visa represents Thailand's strategic pivot, attracting wealthy foreigners while making life increasingly difficult for middle-class retirees. It's a deliberate policy choice, not an accident. If visa complications and frozen bank accounts weren't enough, Thailand dropped a tax bombshell that has sent shockwaves through the expat community. As of January 2024, amendments to Thailand's revenue code significantly altered the tax treatment of foreign income for Thai residents. Thai taxpayers who derive accessible income from employment or business overseas, or from property located abroad, must pay tax on that income after bringing such accessible income to Thailand. Previously, foreign-sourced income was only taxable if brought into Thailand in the same calendar year it was earned. The new rule eliminated this loophole. Under the current rules, Thai nationals and foreigners residing in Thailand for at least 180 days in a calendar year are taxed on foreign income, only if it is brought into the country, irrespective of when it was earned. The impact on retirees has been profound. Many structured their finances assuming pension and investment income earned abroad wouldn't be taxed when remitted to Thailand in subsequent years. The rule change upended decades of financial planning. However, facing backlash, the Thai government proposed adjustments. In May of 2025, Thailand's Revenue Department prepared to revise personal income tax rules for foreign-sourced income remitted into Thailand. Under the proposed rule, foreign-sourced income would be exempt from Thai personal income tax if remitted into Thailand either in the year it was earned or the following year. The government aims to enact the new rule as a royal decree, with only foreign income remitted in 2024 remaining taxable, and from 2025 onward, tax residents able to benefit from the new regime extending into 2026 and beyond. But the damage to confidence has been done. A survey revealed that 55% of expats considered leaving Thailand in 2024 to avoid new tax liabilities, with the majority stating they will not file tax returns. In an unscientific survey, 75 expat tax residents showed a huge variety of responses, from never heard of it to fears of prosecution, deportation. The tax situation exemplifies Thailand's broader problem, implementing sweeping policy changes without clear communication, creating uncertainty and fear among foreign residents who have built their lives in the country. Beyond banking and taxes, 2025 has seen intensified immigration enforcement that has left many foreigners feeling unwelcome. Immigration raids throughout Thailand have become more frequent and targeted in 2025, with authorities focusing on major tourist destinations such as Phuket, Koh Samui, and Pattaya. In one raid, officials arrested 17 foreign nationals across several Thai islands, some for overstaying visas and others for working without proper permits. Foreign nationals residing in Thailand on a long-term basis must comply with TM30 and 90-day reporting requirements, with immigration authorities increasing enforcement of both rules in 2025. Immigration officers no longer treat missed reports as minor issues and may impose fines or re-examine visa status. The enforcement creates a climate of anxiety. One missed 90-day report, one administrative error, can trigger a cascade of problems. And with immigration officers empowered to use discretion inconsistently, foreigners never know if they'll face a warning or a serious consequences. So where does Thailand go from here? And more importantly, what does this mean for you if you're considering retiring here? Here are the likely scenarios. Further visa restrictions. Thailand may phase out the traditional 1 year retirement visa entirely, pushing everyone toward the LTR, long term resident visa, that requires much higher income or investment. Future regulations might demand mandatory property purchases or business spending to qualify. Retiring on a modest pension could become effectively impossible. Only wealthy or highly skilled expats will qualify for long term residency. Tighter banking controls. The anti fraud drive will continue and probably intensify. Expect more account freezes, stricter monitoring, higher minimum balance requirements, and increased scrutiny of all transactions. Alternative finance options like cryptocurrency might be officially banned. Foreigners will increasingly rely on overseas accounts and remittance services, living in a semi cash economy, even as Thailand pushes toward digital payments for citizens. Tourism and tax changes. There's discussion of implementing a universal tourist tax around 300 baht per stay and higher VAT for foreigners. Dual pricing may expand officially to more venues, parks, hospitals, and government services. The tax on foreign earned income will likely expand, capturing more pension and investment income. Thailand may start limiting visas for certain nationalities based on political relationships. The exodus to alternative destinations. Vietnam, Malaysia, which has enhanced its MM2H retirement visa with new investment based tiers in 2025, Cambodia, and even Indonesia are positioning themselves as the new Thailand for retirees. They're offering simpler visa processes, lower costs, and fewer restrictions. Malaysia stands out as particularly attractive. The Malaysia My Second Home visa now offers three investment based tiers: Silver 5 years, Gold 15 years, and Platinum 20 years, with mandatory property purchases. The Sarawak MM2H offers a 10-year visa with more modest financial requirements, including a fixed deposit of 500,000 Malaysian ringgit. In 2025's annual Global Retirement Index, Malaysia is rated the seventh best country to retire to, ahead of Italy, Greece, and Thailand. The country offers world-class healthcare, English-speaking communities, and private insurance for $50 a month. If significant numbers of expats relocate, Thailand might eventually ease restrictions to remain competitive, but that's a big if and probably years away. The rich gets richer. Thailand will likely double down on attracting wealthy retirees through expanded LTR visa benefits and special retirement communities. Poor and middle class retirees will be systematically squeezed out. The land of smiles will become the land of smiles if you can afford it. Reform possibility. There is a chance, admittedly small, that Thailand realizes it's gone too far. If international reputation damage becomes significant, if expat exodus hurts the economy noticeably, if wealthy Asian retirees start avoiding Thailand due to the chaos, we might see reforms, improved communication, clearer regulations, fewer arbitrary enforcement actions, but don't count on it. Thailand's government has shown little inclination to listen to foreign resident concerns. The pattern has been implement harsh policies, ignore complaints, perhaps soften enforcement slightly after months of backlash, then implement new restrictions. After everything we've covered, the frozen accounts, the visa crackdowns, the scams, the discrimination, the uncertainty, here's the multi-million-dollar question. Should you still retire to Thailand? The honest answer? It depends on who you are and what you can afford. If you're wealthy, if you qualify for the LTR visa, if you have substantial savings and can afford top-tier legal and financial advice, if you're comfortable with complexity and risk, Thailand might still work for you. You'll have access to the tax benefits, the long term visa security, and the resources to navigate problems when they arise. If you're a regular retiree on a fixed pension, if you're looking for simplicity and security, if you can't afford to lose your savings to an account freeze or a scam, if you want to feel welcome rather than tolerated, Thailand is probably not your best choice anymore. The Thailand of 2025 is not the Thailand of 2010 or even 2020. The dreams that was sold to a generation of Western retirees, cheap paradise where your pension goes far and life is easy, that dream is dead. What's replaced is a complex, regulated, often hostile environment where one mistake can cost you everything. Thailand has made a strategic choice to pursue wealthy foreigners while making life difficult for everyone else. The frozen bank accounts aren't a bug, they're a feature. The visa complications aren't bureaucratic incompetence, they're deliberate policy. The tax uncertainty isn't poor communication, it's a negotiation tactic. For middle class retirees, the writing is on the wall. Thailand wants your money, but not necessarily you. Other countries in Southeast Asia are rolling out the welcome map with simpler processes, clearer regulations, and genuine appreciation for foreign retirees. The land of smiles has become the land of spreadsheets, a place where your financial qualifications matter more than your desire to embrace Thai culture and contribute to local communities. For many retirees who spent years dreaming of retiring in Thailand, that's the hardest truth to accept. Thailand will always be beautiful. The food will always be incredible. The people will always be kind. But for foreign retirees, the country has fundamentally changed. The question isn't whether you can afford to retire in Thailand financially. It's whether you can afford to retire there emotionally, knowing you're not really welcome anymore. There is a question only you can answer, but make no mistake, the dream has changed, and not for the better.